We've been married for 12 years now. Things have always been great without any particular up or down. My wife has always been a kind, sweet woman, and up until this, I thought the world of her. And then she went and broached the talk about open marriage. What if we consider opening up the marriage because all her friends did it, and it's 2024? I didn't get angry or anything like that. I just listened and offered my counters. I asked if her friends are influencing her into this. She said no. I asked if she already had someone in mind. She said no. I asked her to give me some time to think about it, and she agreed, stating, "We don't have to do it if I'm not up for it." I shouldn't have. But in the days after I checked her phone and laptop, nothing suspicious, or that suggests that she was cheating already. Last week I told her I thought about it, and in my opinion, she can get anyone she wants because I want a divorce. See you, the sobbing, the begging and all. If I knew I wouldn't have ever asked. She refuses to move out, and so do I, so I sleep in the guest room. She taken sick from work, and every time I'm home she keeps begging to talk and go back to the bedroom with her. I believe her friends actually tried to influence her, and she didn't do anything at all. But this unravelled my perception of her was I too fast to mention divorce, asked for an opinion of the community, you're going to get it first up. This may or may not be an overreaction, but my own marriage went into a separation, divorce. Still up the one weight after a couple of months of open marriage, albeit on both sides. But looking back, I wish I had the guts of being the one proposing to divorce someone else. Chimes in. Well, I understand that requests for open marriages are often the beginning of the end. For many relationships, I also think that Op definitely jumped the gun. Here, his wife was trying to start a conversation, and his reaction was to end it in the most dramatic way possible. He should talk to her not necessarily because he wants to save the marriage, but just out of respect for the years they spent together. The fact that he has no interest in understanding her perspective or motivation, or even letting her admit that she was influenced by her friends, and now regrets it makes it seem like he was looking for a way out already, and this was just a handy one. Someone else adds, I mean, you are who you are if you can't forgive her for even considering the concept of having sex with someone else. That's absolutely destroyed your mental image of her, and you feel that you can never love her again. Then you do what you have to do. It doesn't matter whether any of us agree or not. In the end, it's your life and you're the one who has to live it. Now, sure, from my perspective, your reaction seems a little unfair if she legit has friends who are doing this stuff and she was curious whether you'd be into it, and she asked you, and was happy to accept, no as an answer. What else was she supposed to do? Partners should be able to talk to each other. Partners should be able to disclose even their most messed up, would never act on this desires, in a place of shared trust. I hate to see people knee-jerk, reject each other over even discussing sex, because that encourages people to stay, buttoned up, closeted, repressed, terrified to even ask the question. And that leads to a lot of people getting hurt. Eventually, like I have seen this happen with women, sometimes when their husbands are like, "Do you think you'd ever consider butt plugs or something?" And the wife immediately goes, "Oh my God, you're gay." I have been deceived. I want a divorce, which is just a wild overreaction to me. But again, I'm not you, only, what you can live with in the marriage if you're questioning whether you've moved too fast. You can try going to marriage counselling and talking through your feelings. But if you know you can't accept this, then that's how it is. Update, I wasn't jumping the gun. She was cheating emotionally and planning to do. So physically, I checked her phone and computer and found nothing, but she came forward with a second phone. I had no idea she even had. She thought I already knew, that's why she came out with it, just as I was starting to regret my decision. Her friends, sweet, talked her into it. Apparently those open marriages are just their affairs. She thought it helped her conscience if I went on with the open marriage, the things I saw, or stomach churning. She begs to be given a second chance. And a part of me is foolishly considering to give it to her, but it's not the right thing to do. I don't want to leave her, but I have to for my dignity, pride and self-respect that I love her. Has become irrelevant. We got a couple more reactions. First off, brother, I am sorry. Your wife has some crappy friends too. But that is what it is. You may recall my reply to your original post. I'm glad you followed up. I agree with you. You have to bail. If you stay at this point, she will do whatever she wants. Hell, she already was, the next person says. Man, I am sorry. This was me. To a certain extent, my husband asked for an open marriage, caught him in an emotional affair. Just out of, it was physical until I caught him. We are in the process of getting a divorce. Our hearing date is in May. So all will be behind me soon. Long story short, I know how you are feeling. And it sucks. It has gotten a lot easier and better for me as of late. If that makes you feel any better, whoa, discovering a second phone is like finding a cockroach infestation in your marriage. You squish one, and then suddenly there's a whole colony you didn't even know about. Looks like your friends weren't just sipping tea, they were brewing a pot of drama. Most importantly, your decision to prioritize your dignity, pride and self-respect is commendable. It's not easy to walk away from your relationship, especially after investing so much time and emotion into it. But ultimately, staying in a situation that undermines your sense of self-worth would only prolong the pain. And honestly, if she's doing this to you after 12 years, she's no longer that person you married, what do you think would you have asked for? A divorce right away? Why are I not up? Next Op shines a light on their journey, embracing the power of vulnerability and showing others that they're not alone. Feeling surprisingly better despite pretty fresh wounds, most of the posts on this sub are understandably and rightfully tragic. Stories Mine is one of them, though I've noticed the shift in my mood this last week or so, and I wanted to share in case anyone else is also in the thick of it and feeling lost. Post history explains some background, but basically I thought I was in an incredibly secure, safe, loving marriage just 2 months ago. 5 years married husband turned on me out of nowhere and says he isn't happy for a while, despite never acting like it or confronting me, spent the next 6 weeks effectively phasing me out and increasing activity with the affair partner, which I knew about all along. But he thought he was hiding it. It's been almost 3 weeks since he asked for the separation, which prompted me to confront him on cheating. It's been a little less than 3 weeks since he's last lived in the house with me. Normally, and it's been almost 2 weeks since I've last seen him. I'm in the house and he's in a short-term corporate apartment type place. I could barely eat for the whole month of November, but a week ago my appetite is genuinely back. I don't wake up in the middle of the night and start panicking or wallowing about my situation anymore. The constant pit in my stomach seems much lighter in the last few days, and I haven't had a really good cry in a few days. Also, what changed, I've been leaning on my support system hard and putting myself out there. Last week, I spent each night talking to a different friend on the phone for like 2 hours. Each went to a fitness class, made plans with newish friends for the first time this weekend, and made a completely new memory. Went to a holiday party with a family member where I knew literally no one, and it ended up being really fun, lots of nice people, and again, totally separate from my prior life. I'm a homebody, and sometimes avoid socialization. I'm a texter, not a talker, but moving out of my comfort zone in this way has been super therapeutic. My husband's fancy work holiday party was this weekend, and I was worried I'd have super FOMO leading up to it and on the actual day, but by the time the day arrived, I was actually relieved. I did not have to be trapped at a party with an emotional abuser putting on the nice guy. Front for his colleagues. I don't want to be at a party with someone who has told me he doesn't love me. I have plenty of people who love me. Ahead of time, I muted Instagram posts and stories from those I follow who would be at this party out of sight, out of mind. I am in individual counselling 2 times a week for now, and I listen to Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. I think Chump Lady's book is a big reason why I've started to see things in a different light. Now, the feelings of sadness, attachment and longing for my husband have turned to ones of pity and disgust. Cheaters are repulsive, cheaters are narcissists, cheaters are selfish, they are not spouse material. I just need to see it for what it is. Now starting to tell my story to my friends and family has helped tremendously. At first I was worried about judgment or damaging my husband's reputation in case of reconciliation, but my personal healing and well-being is far more important than my husband's reputation, which he has now damaged. Not me, don't be afraid to talk about your story. People have been so supportive. I've avoided seeing him, and I respond to the logistical texts he sends from time to time, and I never initiate first contact minimal contact arrangement. I know I am far from recovered. This journey is not linear. More tears and meltdown will come at some point. But a few weeks ago, I literally couldn't see myself coming out of the extreme debilitating spiral I was in to all the betrayed people out there struggling. We got this edit to add. He asked for a separation, but specifically said he was undecided about divorce. Whatever that means. I don't feel pressured to make any moves right away, because I need to prioritize my health and well-being. First, I have a lawyer in mind if I need one. Well, if there's one thing worse than a bad breakup, it's a bad breakup with a side of betrayal. And see him right, it's like winning the lottery of emotional trauma. But hey, silver lining alert, looks like you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel of the my husband's, a cheating narcissist, tunnel who needs FOMO at fancy work holiday parties, when you can have a FOMO-free, drama-free evening with people who actually give a darn about you. It's not your fault. He decided to throw your marriage into the garbage disposal of infidelity. So here's the UOP for navigating the treacherous waters of separation with grace and resilience. Remember, the road to recovery may be bumpy, but as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, he'll come out on the other side stronger and wiser than ever before. You got this. Lastly, a wild night of bubbles in trouble, possible cheating girlfriend. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend's friend and her friend's boyfriend invited us to her family's cabin in the North Woods. We were having a great time drinking and playing games. At one point, we decided to get naked and get in the hot tub. It was fun, but after about 10 minutes, the heat with tequila started to get to me. I left to go to the bathroom. I got sick and went to lay down for a minute, but I must have passed out. I woke up a couple of hours later when my girlfriend came to bed. She was just wearing a towel and dropped that before climbing in bed. I called it up with her and started rubbing her, but she grabbed my hand and pulled it away, then went to the bathroom. I heard the shower turn on, and she came like 15 minutes later and started kissing me. Then said she just wanted to clean up first. She gave me a BJ, but didn't want to have sex. Am I just being paranoid, or did something happen while I was passed out? Update, I did confront her and took some advice from the comments. I told her I talked to the other guy and he already told me everything, but I wanted to hear from her. So she told me everything. Basically, her friend and the boyfriend started fooling around in the hot tub, and eventually my girlfriend ended up joining, and they had a threesome. Not too surprised considering how I left them. I never intended to be away that long, but doesn't excuse anything after she told me all the details. I told her we were done and left. She's been texting apologizing, but too little too late. I mean, getting naked in a hot tub is one thing, but finding out you missed out on a surprise threesome while you're busy napping. Ouch, I mean, she could have woken you up at least. But in all seriousness, kudos to you for taking the high road and handling the situation with some serious self-respect. It takes immense courage to confront a situation like this head on and to walk away from a relationship that has been shattered. Beyond repair, you deserve so much more than to be treated as an afterthought, especially by someone you cared about deeply. Your girlfriend's remorse may be genuine, but it doesn't erase the pain she's caused or the trust she's shattered. It doesn't magically turn back time and undo the hurt you've endured. And who to say that's been the first time she's ever taken part in steamy hot tub romps, thoughts,